So I'd had a hiatus from all of this mess. May have been the happiest moment in my life um, for a while, and I was reading on Nextdoor, and people were still kind of bickering back and forth and stuff like that. And man, I really would just like the city to come together. And one of the things I had actually said, and I wrote an article about this. I went to high school with a person who is a firm yes person, okay? And, all this stuff going back and forth, I made the comment to this person, I'm like, what is going on in Lakeland? This is like the Hatfields versus the McCoys. You have this group versus this group. Man, what did I move into? This is not what, this wasn't exactly what I had hoped for a city, I'll be honest with you. So, I was reading an article on, or a post on Nextdoor, and this is when I'd kind of been more involved with the currents and stuff like that, and trying to really reach out, mend fences where I thought they needed to be mended, help the city how I could with my talents and time, which is the photography. And, I was really trying to offer some different perspectives to people. And, I wrote an article on Nextdoor, and basically, I kind of told my story like I'm telling now, and, I was making the point like, look, if the city does something good, admit it's good, the Lake District is good, great, I hope that works out, I think at the time they had announced that they're lowering our taxes, that's good, can we just be honest about things here, it's dumb to oppose every single thing that every single person does, okay? And really, I was just trying to offer some balance, and I told the story about the Hatfield and McCoys, and told how, one of the things I noticed with myself is that on social media, someone would say something that I didn't know, and I would agree with it, I'd like, yeah, that makes sense, and then I found myself like going, but I don't know that person. Should I agree with them? Should I like what they said, or give them the thumbs up, or whatever on social media? I don't know them. And then I'd be like, well, who is this person? What have they said in the past? Which camp are they in? And then I'm like, what am I doing here? Things should stand on their own. People should, shouldn't be branded this group or that group. Neither group owns everything that is good in this world and everything that is bad in this world, So I caught myself doing it, and, I was like, this is just stupid. From this moment on, I'm just going to like things that people say. If I like what people say, I'm not going to really spend a lot of time, looking into this, and found myself in the odd position of even liking some of the things that Matt Wright has said. The funny thing is, you should really do this, because the dumb thing is, if you're in this camp and you're in this camp is trying to convince these people to come over here, and these people are trying to convince these people to come over here. And then you have someone actually saying something that you agree with, but you're not willing to like it. What? This is what you've been waiting for, So it's just really dumb when you think about it. So anyway, posted something, about this, and I really didn't. I was just trying to get something off my chest here, and really didn't have an agenda for it or put a lot of thought into where it went. And later on, someone had actually mentioned that actually has gotten the most likes on Nextdoor than anything they had seen, and I went back and I looked, and I'm like, wow, that's really good. And the people who liked it were a mixture, and in it, if I remember right, I was challenging people like, are you not going to like this because I'm a no person? Like, really? So I was really trying to break people of that mentality. And, the people who liked it, thank God, there were people that, I had gone to war with on social media in a nice way, so people were getting it. And it was actually an interesting moment, though, because, and I'll find the screenshots and go back, and this is the moment, by the way, that, and some other people it started to get a little loose at the end and stuff like that, but Matt Wright decided to throw hot or cold water on this whole thing. And for whatever reason, he decided that he needed to shut this down, it seemed. Okay? So that's when he decided to remind everybody that I created the Concerned Citizens of Lakeland webpage. Okay? some things about that. I didn't publicize that I did that, but I didn't hide that I did that, okay? Like, I actually had to make something called an in-kind donation and report it that I had done something of a certain value and contributed it to a particular group, okay? So, I had reported those things. Interestingly enough, someone had later told me that Matt Wright had not, even though he had done that, he had been caught not doing that, and that's what I've been told. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, scratch that, okay? But that's what I was told. And that's one of the reasons I was told to do that, by the way, actually, now that I remember it. So, but anyway, some things about that website. The No Group absolutely deserve to have their opinions heard. I am not going to have my opinion shut down by anyone. I'm sorry you disagree if you disagree with them, but you're not going to shout me down. Did I write all the content on the No page? Absolutely not. I think we had 16 authors that worked on content of that. If you go look at it now, you'll see a huge time gap, okay, in it. You might take note of that. But anyway, so in the moment, like where the city is trying to be drawn together, we have a guy run in with a grenade, pull the pin out, and throw it into the room. And that guy was Matt Wright. So what happened as a result of that is, you can go back and look at it, or I'll post some screenshots, is, he challenged me to take that website down. Haven't done anything with that website in years. Sure, why not? Okay. So I was like, why don't we take them all down? And this is happening on next door in front of everybody, by the way. So, I'm like, why don't you take down the website that you created for Josh Roman, which he did, which had really, really bad content on it, by the way. We have proof. He created it if you need to see it. So, by the way, I don't really throw things out there, you'll notice, unless I have proof for them. And if something is my opinion, I'm going to let you know it's my opinion. The Denbo election that I wasn't involved in had just happened. Okay? This is the perfect time to try and do something to bring the city together. Elections are contentious times in history. That had just done and ended, okay? So, he challenges me to take the website down. I tell him that I cannot. I do not own the domain name, which I do not. The web hosting account is not in my name. I have no legal right or authority to the website. I have a login to the website. I can change content on the website. I can publish my own content on the website. If I were to take it down without permission and delete it, I have just destroyed someone else's property. I'm not doing that. But I do explain to him that I know who has this website, okay, and I will go talk to her, which you now know who it is, and was Stephanie Leffler's website. She owns it. And I said, I'm going to go talk to her and see if I can get this done. Okay. At this moment, and you will be told other false narratives about this story. Okay. Can't wait to hear them, by the way. I'll probably have proof that they're not correct, by the way. So this was not something planned. Okay. This was just like, I kind of had it with people like, God, people just stop arguing, okay, and wrote this thing, okay. Then we have this guy trying to throw hot water or cold water all over it, okay, trying to embarrass me, and I guess call me out for me being the source of contention in Lakeland or something, which is really ironic, who did this. I leave work at that moment. I drive to Stephanie Leffler's house, okay, and she had seen this. And when I came into her house, I'm saying this because it is the truth. I'm not saying this to embarrass anyone, and it should not embarrass anyone, but she was in tears, okay? I gave her a hug, and she's like, so you're just going to take this down, and all this is going to be over with, and all that kind of stuff, and she was really upset, and my point to her was like, this needs to end at some point. Like, if there's a chance to end this, we should take it. And, it's tearing the city apart. I'm like, you're throwing a lot of yourself into this, a lot of your own time. I was like, can you imagine the things that you could accomplish without spending so much time on this? Like, I got out of this a while back, and I can tell you I've been really happy since, and I've had a lot of time to do a lot of other things with my life, and you should too. So we sat down and talked about it, and I'm like, look, here's how I'm going to view this, Stephanie. Like, I'm really kind of in the middle. I'm at this point more in the middle than just about anyone in Lakeland, and unless there's some unknown. But I mean, I've agreed with certain things the yes group has done. I've agreed with certain things the no group has done. I've disagreed with both of them at some point. This group doesn't trust me at some point. This group doesn't trust me at this point. This group kicks me out of things all the time. Like I said, I make up my mind on every single thing. Sometimes I'm going to agree with you. Sometimes I'm going to agree with you. So anyway, I'm there to talk to her, and I'm like, let's negotiate something, that has a chance of this thing sticking. I'd like for this stuff to be over with. A high school is on no one's mind at this point, by the way, okay? This is where this is at in time. Election, over, okay? High school, not being discussed. Middle school, built, okay? I'm not aware of anything that anyone should have a problem with anybody, okay? This is the absolute best time to just stop all of this crap, okay? So, I'm talking to her about this, and we come up with some things, I'll go back and I'll find some documentation, and I'll put it in this video, or post it online for you guys to see. But basically, it was both sides just disarm, okay? I mean, taking a website down, you can easily bring them back up. Let's just give this thing a try. Why not? Is how I felt about it. And I told Stephanie, I'm like, everything that we should ask for, everything in this agreement should be 100% mutual. In other words, we can't ask them to do something, okay, and then not be able to do it ourselves, okay? If we're going to say, you take down all your websites, then we have to take down all of our websites, and vice versa. Everything in the agreement was mutual. And everything that I put in that was my idea was with the motivation of trying to just stop all of this stuff. I don't want to have kids that hate kids that don't even know why they hate each other because their parents didn't like each other because they only agreed with 80% of what the other person thought and said. This is just stupid, So anyway, I wanted this stuff to be over with. And I hammered out something with her, and I went and met with, oh, by the way, I talked to Matt Wright, who was on vacation at the time, about these ideas and stuff like that, and he told me that they couldn't do this, and he said that the city attorney advised them not to, okay? So, if you don't know me by now, I don't take the word of anyone for anything, especially if politics are involved. I hang up the phone, I call the city attorney, and here's how I have the conversation. Hey man, hey Chris, this is Casey Condo. Hey, this has happened, like we're trying to negotiate this agreement, just to kind of have a truce, just hopefully put all this stuff to the end. Do you see there been any legal or political or legal issues or any other reasons for, your guys to not do this? He answered no. He had not talked to Matt Wright. Matt Wright said Chris Patterson, the city attorney, told him not to do this agreement. That was a lie, okay? And it was one that blew me away. And here's my response to Chris Patterson, because I still just wanted this thing to happen. Chris, the reason I asked you this question is because I just got off the phone with Matt Wright. He said that the city attorney told him that they, as city officials, could not sign off on any official capacity on this agreement. And when he told me that, by the way, I was like, sign off and have a disclaimer that this is not a city agreement. This is a personal agreement with Matt Wright and certain individuals, blah, blah, blah. This is non-binding in any way. There's no legal reason to not do this, okay? So, but he hid behind the city attorney told him not to do this, and that was an absolute lie, okay? I don't call people liars unless I know that they've lied, and that was a lie. So, you have at least Matt Wright, and I don't know who's behind him, also not wanting this done, okay? But not wanting this, potential truce between these two sides to happen, okay? during this time, I was, talking to Wesley Wright and Sherry from Lakeland Currents. It was the three of us meeting over at Sherry's house. We were talking about this and trying to get it hammered out and stuff like that. The reason, and this went on for a couple weeks during this time, and it was not easy, but not as hard as you would think to get the CCL people to agree with this. There are people, by the way, who absolutely on the CCL side thought I was a traitor. Were really pissed at me for doing this. They didn't want to let this go either. Just like Yes People and Matt Wright didn't want to let this go. You had quite a few, accusations and slings and arrows headed my way from CCL people for, talking on this behalf. The way I looked at it was, as a website that I helped create. It was something that Stephanie owned, and it was our decision, not theirs. So if there's a chance at peace, I'll take it, So anyway, Wesley, who I got to know pretty well, who I've had quite a few disagreements with, who I think is actually a pretty nice guy. CCL people don't like that fact. There are people who you disagree with, by the way, that are still good people, and I think Wesley's one of them. He conducted himself well through this interview, or this whole process. Basically, though, the official word that I got from our BOC is that Josh Roman was not willing to take down his website. He personally was not willing to take down his website, and there's no reason not to do this thing. His website, by the way, all it said was, "I'm glad you elected good people," or something like that. That's all that is there, okay? So on one hand, you have the entire CCL website, okay, that has a bunch of stuff on it, okay, a bunch of content. On the other hand, you have a sentence, okay? Why are you not willing to get rid of this to get rid of this? It didn't make sense to me. And that's where it got left, I really wanted more answers from Wesley. I wasn't able to get them. A few months later, it became apparent to me why they weren't willing to give this up. And it's because, you started to hear rumors about a pension high school, stuff like that, and then it really made sense. And the reason that the politicians weren't willing to try this, weren't willing to let the citizens have even a chance at peace, I'm convinced of this, is because having enemies is useful for a politician. And we've seen this through this entire process, okay? New person comes in. There's plenty of CCL people that their story is like this. I just came in wanting some answers, and then Matt Wright branded me. That's my story, okay? I just wanted some answers, and you have this guy talking crap about me to half the city and branding me, okay? And it took me a while to really figure out what was happening, but so if you are Matt Wright and you have this political idea and this plan that you want to execute on, okay, and someone like me comes along to disparage me, you have and marginalize me, you have two paths you can take. One, you can try and learn everything about me as a person and attack me. The other one that we saw play out over and over again was brand them that group. Okay, by branding them that group, they take on all the characteristics of that group. Okay, Matt Wright, every day during this entire process, up until this lawsuit, CCL did this, CCL lied, they want our city to fail, they don't like children, they drink the blood of the young. I mean, whatever he wanted to say, okay? Brand, CCL negative, okay? New person comes along, that's a CCL person. Boom, okay? There is no reason to get into anything else. It's a scarlet letter, okay? And then the person, by the way, is leaving themselves like, kind of like me, like, what are we talking about? Like, what? Who is this guy? And then now that person's having to defend themselves, no, I'm not, and distance themselves from a group that they don't really probably even know. So, enemies are useful for politicians, okay? Groups of enemies are invaluable for politicians. Okay, so if you're a politician and you're about to push through a high school, okay, you can't have the city at a moment of peace. You can't have people coming together. So the politicians in this city literally didn't want that to happen. And they're about to be up for re-election. And I don't think that they should be re-elected. I think we should kick these guys to the curb. You know, they're going to have all kinds of false narratives that they're going to give you about me and why I'm doing this and stuff like that. I made a video. You can look at me and see me telling you this. If you think I've been lying to you about all this, I haven't. Like I said, everything to lose for me, nothing to gain. If you want the high school, get some other people who want the high school and run them for office. Just don't run these people, okay? These people are willing to lie about citizens, they're willing to disparage people. They don't want peace here. They are fine ripping the city apart as long as they get their high school, and I'm sorry, but I'm a bit suspicious of that. The thing that keeps pulling me back to this stuff isn't what is being done, it is how it is being done. Why are you willing to lie about people and brand people and try and destroy people to get what you want? Why is it that important to you that you're willing to do that to people? These people should not be re-elected, period.